I'm going to talk to you today about one of the most powerful, beautiful, and simple ideas in the world of healing willingness. Because when I am willing to change, the universe supports me in every way. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You only need to be willing. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. You only need to open the door a little. The light will do the rest. Willingness is not about forcing yourself to become someone else. It's about allowing yourself to become who you truly are. The moment you say, "I am willing," life begins to move. Energy begins to shift. The old starts to dissolve, and the new starts to form. You may not see it right away, but it's happening. Change begins the moment you say yes. When I look back on my own life, I see a story that once was filled with pain, with confusion, with deep wounds from the past. I had a childhood filled with trauma. I was abused, abandoned, and left to believe that I was unworthy of love. For years, I carried that pain like a heavy coat. But then, one day, I decided something radical. I was willing to let it go. I didn't know how to heal. I didn't know where to begin. But I whispered to myself, "I am willing to change." And that small whisper became the turning point of my life. Because the universe always responds to willingness. The moment you are willing, help begins to appear. A book, a teacher, a friend, a sudden realization. You begin to meet the right people. You begin to notice the signs. You begin to feel the invisible hands of love guiding you. I often say, I turned my pain into my power. But I could only do that because I was willing to forgive. Forgiveness is the bridge to transformation. Without forgiveness, there is no freedom. Without freedom, there can be no real change. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I realized that all the anger and resentment I had carried for decades had built a home in my body. My cells were listening to my thoughts. My body was replaying the story of my pain. And I knew if I wanted to heal, I had to release that story. So I began a process not with fear, but with love. I began to write letters to the people who had hurt me, not to send, but to release. I cried, I shouted, I forgave, I cleansed my mind, and I cleansed my body. I ate nourishing food. I spoke kindly to myself. Every morning, I looked in the mirror and said, "I am safe. All is well." And slowly, my body began to respond. The cancer began to disappear. The doctors couldn't explain it, but I could, because healing begins in the mind. When you change your thoughts, you change your chemistry. When you forgive, your cells rejoice. When you love yourself, your body listens. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength. It is saying, "I am willing to let go of the poison so I can live." You are not excusing what happened. You are releasing its hold on you. You are freeing yourself from the prison of the past. Every time you forgive, you choose life over pain. You choose freedom over fear. And that brings us to one of the great universal principles, the law of thought. I want you to really hear this. What we think about ourselves becomes the truth for us. Your thoughts are creative. They are the blueprint of your life. Every thought you think is a seed, and what you plant, you will harvest. Imagine that every thought is a drop of water. One drop seems small, but as you think the same thought again and again, drop by drop, you begin to fill a pool, and soon that pool becomes a lake, and that lake becomes an ocean. The question is, what kind of ocean are you swimming in? Are you swimming in an ocean of fear, self-criticism, and doubt? Or are you floating in an ocean of love, trust, and possibility? You cannot think thoughts of lack and live a life of abundance. You cannot speak words of limitation and experience freedom. The outer world is only a reflection of your inner thoughts. Change begins not out there, but in here, in the quiet of your own mind. I invite you to begin a simple exercise today. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 thoughts you think most often. Be honest. They might sound like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never change, or life is hard. And then look at your life. You will see those thoughts mirrored in your experiences. This is not punishment, it is feedback. Life is always showing you your beliefs. Now, look at each of those thoughts and ask, is this what I want to continue creating? If the answer is no, then gently replace them with loving new thoughts. You can say, I am learning to love myself more each day. I am open to change. I am safe and life supports me. Write them, repeat them, believe them. The repetition is important. Because the mind learns through repetition, just as the body learns through practice. Change is not about willpower, it's about willingness. Willpower fights, but willingness flows. When you are willing, life becomes your partner. The right ideas, the right timing, the right support, they all appear naturally. And I know some of you may say, but Louise, I've tried to change and it doesn't work. My darling, the reason is not that change doesn't work, it's that resistance is still in the way. You cannot bring in the new if you are still holding on to the old. You cannot move forward while looking backward. You cannot step into love while clinging to fear. So start small. Start with one area of your life where you are willing to see things differently. Maybe it's your relationship with your body, or your finances, or your past. Whisper to yourself, I am willing to release old patterns and embrace new possibilities. Don't force it, just be willing. The willingness itself is the miracle. And when the old thoughts arise, because they will meet them with love, not judgment, say, there you are. That's just an old thought. I don't need you anymore, and let it drift away. Because you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your fears. You are the thinker of your thoughts. You are the creator of your life. So today, I invite you to open your heart just a little wider. Allow yourself to be surprised by how good life can be. Say yes to healing. Say yes to love. Say yes to possibility. Because when you are willing to change, the universe will always meet you halfway and then carry you the rest of the way home. I am willing to release old patterns and embrace new possibilities. Say it again and again until your heart believes it. You are safe, you are loved, and you are supported in every way. And so it is. And now, my dear, let's go a little deeper together. We've spoken about willingness, forgiveness, and the power of thought. But there is something else that life always uses to guide us, and that is our problems. You see, every problem has a purpose, and every challenge carries a message. Life is not trying to punish you. Life is trying to teach you. And when you're willing to listen, you begin to see that what once felt like pain was actually love in disguise. Every problem has a lesson to teach you. Be willing to listen. These are words I have said many times because they hold such gentle wisdom. When something in your life isn't working, when you feel frustrated, stuck, or lost, instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to show me?" That small shift in question transforms you from a victim into a student. And life, my love, is the greatest teacher of all. I like to think of problems as packages wrapped in rough paper. On the outside, they look unpleasant. They may even cause us pain. But when we open them with patience and curiosity, we find a gift inside, a truth about ourselves, a pattern ready to be healed, a piece of wisdom we were missing. The next time you face a problem, pause and ask, what pattern am I repeating? Maybe it's the pattern of not believing in yourself. Maybe it's the pattern of needing approval. Maybe it's the habit of fear, or the story that says, "I'm not enough." Whatever it is, when you see it with awareness, it begins to lose its power. Because awareness is the light that melts illusion. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. But once you see it, truly see it, you can choose again. You can respond differently. You can choose love instead of fear. You can choose understanding instead of judgment. And in that moment, the pattern begins to dissolve. It is no longer your master. It becomes your messenger. So the next time something painful shows up, instead of running from it, whisper, "I am willing to learn. I am willing to grow." You will feel peace return to your heart because you are no longer fighting life, you are partnering with it. Every challenge truly is an opportunity to grow. Now, let's move to another sacred truth, releasing the need. I want you to hear this deeply. When there is a problem, there is a pattern. And if there is a pattern, there is a need. I am willing to release the need. This is one of the most freeing teachings I have ever discovered. You see, my darling, we don't hold on to negative habits or painful patterns because we are foolish or weak. We hold on to them because at some level they serve a need. Maybe the need to feel safe. Maybe the need to be noticed. Maybe the need to avoid change. Every habit, even the ones that hurt us, once had a purpose. For example, someone who constantly worries may be trying to protect themselves. If I worry enough, maybe I can prevent bad things from happening. Someone who criticizes themselves harshly might be trying to avoid being criticized by others. Someone who stays in unhealthy relationships may be trying to fill an old wound of loneliness. When you can look at your behaviors with compassion rather than shame, healing begins. Instead of saying, "I'm doing this wrong," say, "I see now why I created this pattern, and I'm ready to find a better way." That's where freedom begins. The moment you recognize the need behind a behavior, you have a choice. You can meet that need in a loving way rather than a painful one. If you need safety, you can create it through trust and boundaries, not through fear. If you need love, you can give it to yourself instead of chasing it outside. If you need attention, you can honor your gifts and allow them to shine. Once the need is met with love, the pattern no longer has a reason to exist. It simply falls away like leaves falling from a tree in autumn. You don't have to push them off. You only have to stop feeding the old story. So I invite you to say softly, I release the need for this condition. I am free to create something new. Say it when you notice an old behavior. Say it when you feel stuck. Say it until your heart feels lighter. Because what you are really saying is, I am choosing love instead of fear. And remember, change does not come from harshness. Change grows from gentleness. That brings us to our next truth, the science of change. Change is not hard when you are gentle with yourself. Oh, I love this truth. For so long, we've been taught that change must be hard, that we have to struggle, force, push, fight. But that is not true. The mind, like the body, responds best to kindness. You cannot bully yourself into transformation. You can only love yourself there. Science now confirms what spirituality has known all along. Your brain is not fixed. It is alive, flexible, constantly rewiring itself based on your thoughts, your emotions, your words. This is called neuroplasticity. Each loving thought you think is like laying down a new pathway of peace. Each kind word you speak to yourself is a gentle spark of light traveling through your brain, replacing old patterns of fear with new patterns of trust. Every affirmation you repeat is not just a sentence, it's an electrical current of healing. When you say, I am safe, your nervous system calms. When you say, I am worthy, your heart expands. When you say, I am willing to change, new neurons fire, creating new possibilities. You are literally rewiring your consciousness for love. So when an old thought arises, that old familiar voice that says, I can't, or it's too hard, or I'll never change, just smile gently and say, that's the old me, and I'm choosing again. That's it. No judgment, no fight, just awareness and choice. Because every time you choose love, you are strengthening new connections in your brain. Every time you choose peace over panic, trust over control, forgiveness over fear, you are teaching your mind a new way to be. You are building a new emotional home, one filled with light, ease, and self-compassion. You are not the same person you were yesterday. You are not the same person you were 10 minutes ago. Every loving thought transforms you. Every gentle breath heals you. Every act of forgiveness renews you. So, my darling, remember this. Problems are not punishments. They are teachers. Patterns are not prisons. They are invitations to grow. And change is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Say to yourself now, softly, every challenge is an opportunity to grow. I release the need for this condition. I am free to create something new. That's the old me, and I'm choosing again. Let those words move through you. Feel the truth of them, because when you speak them with love, they become living energy. They begin to shape your reality. Be patient with yourself. Be tender. You are unlearning lifetimes of fear and replacing them with light. The process is sacred, and every small step counts. You are doing beautifully. And as you walk forward, remember, the universe is not against you. It is for you, always, infinitely. It is shaping itself to match your new vibration. So be willing, stay open, speak kindly, because when you are gentle with yourself, change stops being hard and starts becoming natural. You are growing, you are healing, and you are free. I want you to take a deep breath now, my dear. Feel your heart beating softly in your chest. You are here, alive, awake, and this day is a gift. Each new morning gives you a chance to begin again, to align yourself with peace, with purpose, with love. When you wake, place your hand gently over your heart and whisper to yourself, "This is a new day. I am willing to see it differently." Those simple words open the door for miracles to enter. Morning is sacred. It's the moment when your subconscious is still soft, still open, still listening. The thoughts you plant here grow roots throughout the day. So choose your seeds carefully. Instead of saying, "I have to," say, "I get to." Instead of rushing, take a breath and feel grateful that life has given you another sunrise. Smile at yourself in the mirror, not a forced smile, but a loving one, a knowing one. Look into your own eyes and say softly, "I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'm willing to grow." You are not affirming perfection. You are affirming willingness, willingness to learn, willingness to heal, willingness to let go. Each morning, I want you to repeat these gentle affirmations. Today, I open my heart to change. I choose peace instead of fear. I trust life to guide me in perfect ways. Say them slowly, lovingly. Let each one become a breath, a rhythm, a truth. You see, the morning doesn't just begin outside, it begins inside of you. When your inner dawn rises, light fills every corner of your life. Now, as the day unfolds and the world grows louder, remember to pause. Around midday, when the mind feels cluttered and your energy starts to dip, take 2 quiet minutes to reset. Step away from your tasks. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Place one hand on your belly and one on your heart. As you inhale, whisper inwardly, "Love." As you exhale, whisper, "Release." Inhale, peace. Exhale, tension. Feel how your body responds, shoulders relaxing, jaw softening, mind quieting. This is your midday reset, your sacred intermission. You don't need a long break. You only need presence. Even in the busiest moments, peace is one breath away. Life is not asking you to rush. It is inviting you to return to your center. Repeat these words. I am centered and calm in every situation. I release all tension and return to peace. Life supports me at every turn. Let them sink into your being, because they are true. You are always supported, even when you can't see it yet. Life loves you enough to pause with you, to breathe with you, to remind you that you are never alone. And then, my darling, when the evening comes, when the sun sets and the world grows quiet, it's time to release. The night is not just for sleep, it's for renewal. The body repairs, the mind resets, and the soul whispers its truths. Before you close your eyes, forgive yourself for everything you think you didn't do right. Let go of the judgment, the pressure, the expectations. You did your best. That is enough. Say softly, I am willing to release all that no longer serves me. I rest in the knowing that life is for me. As I sleep, I am healed and renewed. Let these words be your lullaby. Imagine that every muscle in your body is being bathed in soft, golden light. Feel that light move from your head to your toes, clearing, soothing, restoring. Your body worked for you all day. Now it deserves your gratitude. Whisper a simple thank you. Thank you, my body, for carrying me through this day. Before drifting to sleep, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you learned today. They don't need to be big. Maybe you learned to breathe through a challenge, to smile when you didn't feel like it, to trust a little more. Write them down, celebrate them, because growth happens quietly in the small moments of awareness. Then, close your eyes and picture yourself tomorrow smiling, lighter, walking through your day with more grace and ease. See that image clearly. Feel it. Believe it. Because the way you end your day shapes how the next one begins. You are not repeating a routine. You are creating a rhythm, morning, noon, and night, a sacred rhythm of love. When you start your morning with openness, you align with possibility. When you pause at noon, you restore balance. When you forgive at night, you make room for miracles. This is your daily practice, your conversation with life, and life always listens. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, I want you to remember this truth. You are doing beautifully. Change is not about speed, it's about willingness. Healing is not about perfection, it's about presence. And peace is not a distant destination, it is right here, in this breath, in this moment. Morning, noon, night. Love yourself through them all. Whisper your affirmations with tenderness. Breathe through your fears with patience, and fall asleep in gratitude. Because when you live this way with awareness, with love, with trust, every sunrise becomes softer, every afternoon becomes calmer, every night becomes kinder. You are never stuck. You can always choose again. This is one of the most loving truths I've ever learned, and I want you to hold it close to your heart. Life is never asking you to be perfect. It is simply asking you to be willing to take one more breath, willing to see things a little differently, willing to love yourself just a little more than you did yesterday. You see, the old pattern of life says, I must fix myself before I can love myself. But the new pattern of life whispers, I love myself, and through that love, I am healed. End quote. The old pattern says, I'm stuck. The new pattern says, I can choose again. The old pattern says, it's too late. The new pattern says, this is my moment. Every time you choose love over fear, you are building a new pattern, one made of light. Every time you choose to breathe instead of worry, to forgive instead of fight, to speak gently instead of criticize, you are reprogramming your entire life. Change does not happen through force. It happens through gentle repetition. You teach the mind through love, and it begins to trust you. The secret is not to start over, it's to begin again from where you are, but with a softer heart. When you start to love yourself, you will notice that life begins to shift around you. People respond differently. Opportunities appear. The body relaxes. The mind becomes clearer. Because love is not just an emotion, it is a frequency. When you vibrate at the level of love, everything unlike love begins to dissolve. So today, I want you to know you can create a new pattern of life, beginning with this very breath. You can rewrite your story by choosing new thoughts, new words, new intentions. When fear says, I can't, whisper, I'm learning. When doubt says, I'm not ready, whisper, I'm willing. When shame says, I'm not enough, whisper, I am enough. This is how transformation begins, not in one big dramatic moment, but in hundreds of tiny choices made with love. You do not have to climb a mountain today. Just take one step, one breath, one kind thought. Each morning when you wake up, place your hand on your heart and say, I am willing to change. Good end. And then say it again, slowly, letting the words sink in. You are not commanding the world. You are opening yourself to it. When you say, I am willing, life hears you and begins to arrange itself in your favor. Every loving thought you think becomes a light in your path. Every kind word you speak becomes a doorway to something new. Every gentle decision you make for yourself to rest, to breathe, to forgive, tells the universe that you are ready. And remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. Some days you will fall back into old patterns, and that's okay. The beautiful thing is you can always choose again. Life does not judge you. It invites you. The universe never says, too late. It says, welcome home. When you make a new choice, you are telling the old energy, thank you for what you taught me, but I no longer need you. You're not fighting the past, you're releasing it. You're not denying your pain, you're blessing it for what it showed you. You're not erasing your story, you're rewriting it in the language of love. And what happens when you do this? You begin to notice miracles, small at first, but undeniable. A conversation that heals, a sign that comforts, a door that opens. The more you love yourself, the more the world mirrors that love back to you, because life loves you, and the more you love life, the more it will love you back. This is the new pattern of life, a rhythm of love, willingness, and grace. It is not something you must chase. It is something you allow. When you soften, when you breathe, when you smile and say, I trust life to guide me, you step into the natural flow of creation. You no longer need to struggle. You no longer need to control. You no longer need to prove. You simply allow yourself to be guided, supported, and loved. Say with me now, softly, I am willing to change. I open my heart to new possibilities. Life loves me, and I love life. Let these words become part of you, not just in your mind, but in your body, in your breath, in your energy. Feel how your cells respond to loving thoughts. Feel how your heart opens when you choose kindness. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from wisdom, from strength, from the quiet power of your soul. The journey of healing is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already are, a magnificent, divine, worthy being of light. So, as we close this moment together, I want you to place both hands over your heart again and take a deep breath. Feel that warmth. That is life inside you, steady, faithful, eternal. Whisper to yourself, I am safe. I am loved. I am willing to change. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, let it remind you that new beginnings are always available. When you see your reflection, smile at yourself like an old friend. When challenges come, meet them as teachers, not enemies. And when love appears in any form, receive it, because it is all for you. You don't have to start over. You only have to start loving yourself more than you did yesterday. That's how the pattern shifts. That's how life opens. That's how miracles begin. And as you walk forward from this moment, may you carry with you this truth. You are never stuck. You are never alone. And you are always loved. Life loves you, my dear, and I love you too.